Good morning and good evening from the United States of America. My name is Piko Kaisapir, speaking on the Buddhasasana program of the CBMS, the Cambodian Buddhist Monk Society in USA. Today, our topic is the Mahamangala Sutta. We are going to explore the importance of the discourse of the highest blessings in Buddha's teaching. And before I begin, let me start by paying homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha with my highest respect, and also my respect to all venerable monks across the world, and also my respect to Venerable Kusupia here. And today we are uh, so lucky to have two speakers to share their perspective on this program on the discourse of the highest blessing in Buddhism. So once again, welcome both speakers to the Buddhasasana program, and thank you again for joining us. As I have mentioned that today we are introducing the Mahamangala Sutta, which is in the Buddha's teaching, and both of you are very familiar with this sutta. And I would like to begin asking Venerable Kusupir on this particular sutta. So I would like to begin with the story. What was behind the Mahamangala Suttas, and what have you learned, and can you share with us to the public to understand these Mahamangala Suttas in a simple understanding? Thank you.
Respected all venerables and our listener. Thank you very much for inviting me to be on the program. I would like to say hello to Lukuchuni and Venerable. I think many of us, particularly in Cambodia, when we talk about Mangala Sutta, we knew, and the story I would like to raise a very short introduction to Mangala Sutta. Before the Buddha time, not just in the Buddha time, the people came and discussed about what is a blessing in life. So they have different ideas, different perspectives. They're fighting over one another. Some people consider seeing good thing, hearing a nice voice, or tasting good food, or some other good thing happen to them, they consider as a blessing. Some consider wealth, fame, popularity as a blessing in life. So there is no common ground what is the blessing. So not just people discussed that topic. That topic even went to heaven. So the angel discussed, and all with the people discuss about that. And one time they come together, the deva and the human, and they thought that no one can answer to the question, what is the blessing, or how can we get the blessing beside the Buddha? That's why they decided to come to the Buddha and ask for his idea. That's why that Mangala Sutta exists, because of the question of the deva. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah. So yes, that is the brief story of the suttas, which has been briefed by Venerable Kusupir. Yes, it's important for all of us to learn and understand what is truly blessings, and as an ordinary people need to seek for. So I would like to turn this my questions to Mr. Nyam Chuni, and once again, thank you for joining us again. And as you have participated in this program earlier last week, and we are grateful for your participation and joining us to share your perspective. I also would like to learn more about this. And as a Cambodian, we often seeking for blessings in different ways. Sometimes blindly seeking for blessings to many superstitious belief that has been rooted in our society. So I would like you to share your perspective. What are the differences between Buddha's teachings of the blessings and what our uh, ground root belief in the society before the Buddhism existed in Cambodia? So please share your short ideas on this, and what would you inspire people to believe too? Thank you.
So thank you so much for having me. I'm really, it's my great honor to be here on the show with you, and thank you, Venerable Sophia, and may pay respect to the Guru Sophia. It's my honor to be here. Thank for your introduction to the Mangala Sutta as well. Um, Regarding to this, I mean, this happened even before the Buddha came to into existence in Cambodian culture. People to have to find the happiness, people either go to pray for the tree or pray for the sun or the stone, to see that by doing so they probably could find the happiness, because this is what they believe, this is what they rely on. Not just I think not just in our Canadian culture, but it existed in many different cultures as well. So this been going around for thousand years and years. People believe by doing, either pray to the sun, pray to the tree, or pray to the stone, or pray to any idol that they believe those this could help them. I mean, even in this at current time, um, we see a lot of spiritual house where people believe that every morning they probably offering the food, the flower, the water. They do that. They believe that the spirit will take care of the family. The spirit will take care of the village. Mainly, the spirit will take care wherever they go. The spirit, we call the home spirit, or this the spiritual house. You probably see mostly in Cambodia, Thailand, and in Laos or in Bali as well. See the small cottage or the small house right in front of each home. That they believe that the deva or the spirit reside in that high. That's why they kind of do offering every day, either flower, water, anything, because that's what they believe. But I mean, according to the teachings of the Buddha, it's a really different, because the Buddha um, advised or taught us to live with happiness, to live in a truly happy. It's important to check. It's important to be aware on how we think, on how we act, and on how we talk as well. Um, this is a true. I mean, this is a true blessing of, we can live with truly understanding, live with wisely. It's it's better than just blindly believe, because people say you should do this so that you find happiness. You should do that, you find happiness. People say either when we were people born in not people born this state is good, this state is not good as well. And the Buddha say the day when there's a sunrise, when we wake up, we know that we are alive. When we wake up, there's a sunrise. That's called happiness.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. So, yeah, thank you for your ideas on this sort of blessings that we are all experiencing, and then some of us still are believing in. And So uh, I would like to turn the question to Venerable Kusapir. You have yes, Mr. Shuni have mentioned about the blessing is particularly is producing from through our actions, speech, and our thoughts, and I believe sometimes Venerable uh, Supir, uh, I think a lot of people may uh, see you uh, and ask for blessings. And even when you came to the United States, and people often when they are in trouble, uh, in any circumstances, they are seeking for blessing that they think that monk can grant them empower them or grant the blessings that they want it to be that they would like to have. So I think you are experiencing a lot of people uh, that are asking you to bless them. So what would be your perspective on? I mean, like, how did you uh, say to people what kind of blessing they need to have? Because like sometimes they ask you a lot of question in order to, or maybe asking you to bless them in a powerful way. So what would you answer to them based on Buddhist teaching and based on your experiences? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. As some people came to the temple to consult, uh, to ask for idea, to yes, of course, to get the blessing. But usually, I refer to the explanation, to the teaching, more than just receive the blessing. Yes, of course, we do the chanting as a sign of blessing to them, but uh, basically, I tell them uh, that you need to have a good thought, good word, and good action in order to produce a blessing in life. But coming here to the temple, seeing monks, seeing stupa, paying respect, offering food, it's a sign of good deed, which brings about a blessing in life. So we cannot just ask and then we don't uh, do the foundation. So it's important. I usually suggest if it is beyond my ability, if I thought that is is not appropriate for me to make people believe that I have a magic power to do anything. I just said, oh, no, that is not mine. It's not my job. I rather explain or I rather refer to somebody else who they think it okay to do that. So that is me. I mean I use explanation more than just let them believe.
Thank you. Let me catch up a little bit on this. I think you sometimes experiencing people asking you, like, for those who are going to have exam, so they might, Venerable, can you bless me in order for me to pass the exam? Or at the same time, some people might be experiencing or facing difficulties in their life. They have a severe problems that they couldn't solve, and then they come and look for you and then ask, Venerable, can you bless me, because I'm living in such a suffering, and I couldn't bear to live with it. So I think you've been facing this kind of question with the people as you are one of the public figure, and how you handle that and how you explain to the people, and guided them to a proper way based on the Buddha's teaching. Thank you.
Thank you. uh, a real case, the student came to the temple before the exam. And as for blessing, yes, of course, I do the chanting as a traditional way of doing that. But I also ask them, okay, have a good sleep, um, have enough food, I mean, good food, and before going to the exam, pay homage to the triple gym, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And before going there, you need to pay respect to your parents to build the confidence inside. So those are the things that I recommend the students before going to the exam. So just to have a strong mentality that, oh, I have done my part. I mean, the learning and also the preparing mentally, so they can fight the exam better if they have a calm and prepared mind. Uh, and do a small chanting for them. Before, yeah, almost every day people with difficulties and problem come to the temple. Sometimes they knew me that I am not that kind of person who are give the blessing. So they come to ask for ideas. Uh, so I explain them. Do the chantings, of course, as I mentioned. Um, Maybe sometime half an hour discussions. The people who are deep into the suffering or the mental illness, and sometimes people just come and cry at the temple for half an hour. I just sit there and discuss. And then yesterday, just a young girl came to the temple crying, and told the problems she faced, and I listened and um, just give them some idea. And then after the discussion, she can smile again and go back. And that's what I can do.
Yeah. So thank you. Yes, that is the realities in people's life. We tend to seek for blessings when we face suffering and difficulties, and sometimes we tend to forget that the ground roots of solving the problems is within ourselves and based on our understanding. So yes, it is important that people need to change their view on looking at things and looking at their problems in life. That is part of our life actually. And yeah, so now I would like to hear some perspective from Mr. Chunya as well. So uh, personally, how do you seek for blessings? And at the same time, I think you live in Cambodia and you've been in Thailand and some of the countries. You have seen that people are performing rituals in order to empower them to grant them blessing through temples, through the fortune tellers, I can say, and to those say tattoo masters and stuff. That is living, that is the part of our society. And how do you see that? And how can you tell the people that what should be the real blessings in life that we all need to seek for? So thank you.
Thank you once again, Venerable Supi, and also thank you, most Venerable Supi, who helped explain some kind of happening around with him as well. I think I think one main part is a psychologically. For example, he was just saying that a young girl was crying, went to the temple. I think to just see somebody that he or she believe, he or she already feel better psychologically, because that's what believe. By going to see Master Kusupiev, I probably feel better. Um, and also going to the temple to get blessing by watering or do some kind of magical or fortune teller. Um, for them, it's just kind of superficial. For them, by doing that, they probably feel happy. They probably consider as a blessing. But I think the most important thing is to explain them what is what it is. For example, by going to get the blessing, what is it, the story behind, what is it, the philosophy behind, and this is the reality. And by living a as considered as a highest blessing, and what are those factors to help us live with the highest blessing? I mean, I would say it's not wrong, but I say it's a part of living a life, as a factor help support us to move life forward. When I was in, I remember when I was in Bali with Guru Kusapir, the owner of the hotel, every morning she do an offering to the Deva, the deity, in front of her hotel with many spiritual houses. And I asked her, what if you don't make it one day? I mean, what if there's a day you miss to do this offering? She said, if I don't do this offering, I won't feel fulfilled. So by doing it every day, I live my life fulfilled every day. So I think it's important that to live, to have that what we call spiritual encouragement or spiritual motivation, but not with blindly belief, but not with blindly practice. And it's important to understand. So myself to consider living as highest blessing, from what I learned from through the teachings of the Buddha, or through the life, through the experience of life in the temple, I think number one it's important to be aware on our life, because the Buddha said, you are the result of what you were, and you will be the result of what you are. So whatever we do, whatever we think, reflect on our life. Um, will go back to our life as well, based on what we think, what we do, and what we act. Like Master Sophia was just saying, it's important to um, to lead a life with purity. For example, if you sleep well, if we eat well, if we enjoy with what we are doing, it's a part of blessing as well. So to consider living as a highest blessing, it's important to be aware when we talk, when we act, when we speak. Are those actions reflect in a good way, reflect good action, or create positive impact to the friend, family, or community, or the people that we live with, or whenever we speak, whenever we act, whenever we talk, those actions create or causes trouble to other people, causes trouble to other community. So that's not called the highest blessing. So the highest blessing is be aware, be mindful of what we think, what we talk, and what we act. That those actions create positive impact to the people around, or to the village, or to the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for this part of this sharing. Venerable Kusapip, I think in your life as a monk, and I believe you have seen a lot of, uh, I think I can say many monks who are not just performing the rituals of granting the blessings, but we themselves sometimes uh, doing that kind of or participate in that in that rituals in order to receive a blessing from the monks. And and some people, I pick up this story is not this point is not because I don't like what the monk performing the rituals, but I just this is a part of our cultures, and this is the part of our life. And sometimes we uh, intentionally and or unintentionally condemn for those who perform in such a rituals, rather than and raise the awareness in order to find out and to study the real blessing that we all need to perform and need to practice. But we just straightforward condemn it. But for me personally, I think that is wrong. So uh, I would like to turn this question to you. How do you perceive with the kind of rituals that people are performing, and especially also monks are participating? And I believe it or not, we are not enlightened being. so so sometimes monks also fall into trouble, and we are facing difficulty sometimes. So sometimes they are seeking for blessings from the sangha, from the monk, in similar to the people who are facing difficulties and problems. They're seeking for blessing from the monk. So what do you say to that, and how can you explain and share your perspective with the people that the most important thing, I think, we need to find the intention behind it, that the monk are performing, rather than we just condemn for what they've done. So what do you say to that, Venerable? Thank you.
Say to who? Is that said to the monk or the lay
To
people?
to both, to both. I mean to sometimes we condemn to sometimes we monk also condemn to those who are practicing those kind of rituals. I
Okay.
don't. I mean, just comparing, and what should be the best approach in raising awareness to the people that sometimes those rituals are not all bad, as long as they can uh, uh, raise awareness to the people through rituals. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So I think it's good to have some time to pay respect, offering the flower to the Buddha, to the stupa, or to the Buddha tree. It's 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 a blessing to have that kinds of reverence or respect to the Buddha, and paying homage or offer food, respect the monks is also a blessing already. Um, I try my best to make sure we all to say something about that, to explain what is the blessing and how to get that, as we already talked here, Mangala Sutta. Uh, so I would say learning more and sharing more, teaching more. The teaching of the Buddha is the way to make people clearly understand what is the blessing and how to get it. And that is what I try to do my part. I hope that some people get it, and some other monks uh, continue to do more teaching so people can understand clearly the teaching of the Buddha and what is the blessing and how to get that. And I personally, for example, going out from the temple to anywhere before going out, we pay respect to the Buddha, to the Dharma, to the Sangha. In the morning or at night, we just paying gratitude to our parents, or maybe radiate our love and compassion toward all being, including Deva, or we call it angel. So the intention of sharing the love, the kindness to others is a blessing inside. Is already blessing inside. So I would rather explain the very fundamental um, uh, principle to make a life a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, I raised this question because I want to see unity. You know, in order to get people to understand the truth, uh, the teaching of the Buddha, we need to inspire people to come in first in order to teach them the true meaning of the Buddha's teaching. Time, the Buddha's teaching has to go along with the cultures. That's why we have different traditions and different uh, 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 sects. Um, because it is important if we, you know, sometime in the society we are trying to make good of it. We are trying to raise that I'm the best, and the other part is not. So it is a conflict of understanding, and it is a conflict of approaching to get more people to understand. But because you know, even in the U.S., you know, sometimes we still have some people come to the temple that they don't really understand the teaching of the Buddha, but because of traditionally that they come to the temple for seeking blessing from the monks, and pray to the Buddha statues. That is the basic thing that people come. Uh, but some but I know some people are just condemning it because like you are doing like rituals. No, that is not the teaching of the Buddha. What a blessing, what a bad thing. It's a lot of things. But I don't want people to say that because for personally because I think that people need to come first before they can learn. Otherwise, they cannot understand the truth. If you are not if you are personally don't do it, that's fine. Uh, because that is it's not your approach. Uh, but you shouldn't condemn it. Uh, so again, I would like to turn the question to Mr. Nyam Shuni. I think you have encountered uh, too many different group of people who might be believing, as you are, of course, you are a meditation uh, practitioner as well and instructor as well. So your your belief is totally different. So how do you see uh, other people believe? Because in Cambodian society, deeply believe in fortune teller. I can say, we, it's been rooted in our society for numbers of generations. I think I don't know well, how maybe back into 1,000 years. So what do you see with that kind of belief, and then comparing to the Buddha's teaching of the highest blessings? Uh, how can we? I mean, how can we come along with each other? How can we go along? How can we live together with this kind of belief? Because people have different backgrounds, and we are being brought up in a different way based on our families' background. So what do you say to that? I just wonder, and then what would you say to the people that most importantly that we need to live along with each other in society? Thank you.
Thank you once again, Venerable. I mean, to go back to the Buddha time, Buddhism, when Buddhism go anywhere, Buddhism always find some way to be adapt into that culture, into that community. Buddhism won't destroy the original culture of the practice of the people or the community. Even in the Buddha time, I mean, this fortune teller, this believing happened before the Buddha time as well, and also this kind of believing, this kind of practices within our culture, like Cambodia or Thailand or some part of Lao country as well. This existed before Buddhism came into existence in Asian culture. So, um, responding to your question, how can we find a way to live together in community as a unity? I think it's important not to condemn each other. It's important not to find fault in other, because like one of our master Sukit say, it's a part of living a life. Um, and when we go to get the blessing, or when we believe in this and that, is also a part of living our life as well. We can't really live purely disconnected Buddhism from those kind of practices, from those kind of beliefs, but find some way how can we open ourselves and live together. And the most important, as a Buddhist monk, or as somebody myself practices meditation or practice Buddhism, so it's important that help whoever wanted to understand, wish to understand more about the true highest blessing, or true kind of perspective of Buddhism, so we can explain them in a certain way how to practice this. And we can say that those practice spiritual or ritual or fortune teller are wrong, because this already existed 1,000 years back. That um, so I mean, a lot of people come to me said, even they confuse that when they say, when they come to me, they want me to fortune about their life. I said, I don't know anything about fortune telling. I said, you teach meditation and you've been practicing Buddhism for a long time. You should know this, you should know that. I said, that's beyond my capacity as human being, because I don't even know what's gonna happen to my life tomorrow. I probably die tomorrow. I probably die next week, and I um, I'm not entitled to those fortune teller. I'm not inside to those magical practitioner. Even they themselves don't even know what can happen to their life tomorrow. They don't know what can happen in their life within a minute. We can guarantee that we live 80 years. We can guarantee that we live 100 years, or we can guarantee that we live um, 1 week from now. That's why the Buddha taught us to live cautiously, to live mindfully, look at our action, our speech, and our thinking as well. Even myself, when I speak to people who practice in that, I'm very carefully on my word of action. When I say, is it my word hurt them? Is it my word give them some kind of benefit? Is it my word make them down or make them motivated or encouraged about living a life? So I think in summary, it's important that we live in different paths of believing, we live in different paths of practicing, but it's important to open ourselves and accept what it is, because I truly believe that the ultimate purpose of life, we all want to be happy, we all want to live in peace, we all want to live in a harmony community. So why don't we express in a good way with a deep understanding? Why don't we share with love? Why don't we share with compassion? Why are we all insult each other by the end goal? We all want to be happy. If we know that the end goal we want to be happy, so find some way, open up, find some way and live together in a better community by either you. That's why I kind of admire where some leader from different religion, from different community, they all have different beliefs, they all have different practices, but they have a main goal of helping community. They have a main goal of supporting community. They have a main goal of supporting a life based on morality. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so one of the funny things that those who are practicing meditation, some people are believing they have a superpower. You as you are meditator, sometimes people may come after you and ask for, empower them the superpower that you might attain, which is a contrast to the teaching of the Buddha. Uh, People tend to have wrong understanding, but that is normal before we could really truly understand the facts. We need to go through some sort of misunderstanding, but we still have an opportunity to correct it as long as we have an effort to find more important things in our life. So yes, now I would like to turn to Venerable Kusatip again. I think you have been participating with a lot of ceremonies in Cambodia, and a lot of from the ranking elites from the government perspective to downward to the groundward of the people. We are they are performing a lot of rituals and ceremonies, and you have been participating in. Sometimes even monks are performing the Hinduism rituals to lead people that in order to set a ceremony, in order to do a groundbreaking ceremony, you need to pay, worshiping this. But so how do you see that, and how do you uh, uh, but the most important thing is that how do you penetrate the teaching of the Buddha to the people, penetrate the teaching of the Buddha to the people who are so passionately believe in those rituals, and how can you persuade them or pull them back into reality that of course that is a part of your life, but in reality that suffering is within yourself. And so how do you penetrate the teaching of the Buddha to the people might be have a different belief than you, but maybe people who didn't study the teaching of the Buddha. So what would be your message to them? I can hear you. You need to turn on your.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Fortunately, usually I was invited to give a Dharma talk. So It's time for me to share my idea. Of course, going to groundbreaking ceremony or a birthday ceremony and other types of ceremonies. Yeah, that is culture. Yeah, we was invited. We were invited as a monk to be participate in the chanting, eating, and all those stuff. I think we cannot disconnect ourselves from the culture. But I usually be part of the Dharma talk more than the ritual. So it's a good time for me to share my idea. What is the blessing? How to live a happy life? What is the Buddha's teaching? The higher truth, for example, the noble truth, and etc. So those is what I do. I still participate in the rite and ritual. I cannot avoid because that is monk's life.
Yeah. So yeah. So it is important. It's important for all of us to try to find a way to live along
Yeah.
with a different perspective and different ideas of living a life. And and sometimes we, we tend to create troubles by, looking at someone else's mistakes and praise for ourselves. uh, my way is better than others, but sometimes, uh, people have different situations in and facing the obstacles in life differently. So uh, now we have 5 minutes. One of the of course, the highest blessing in the Mangala Suttas, there are 38 of them, and we are going to explore it to have a broader view on these 38 blessings of the Buddha's teaching in the following weeks, and maybe we will invite you into some certain blessings that you are familiar with. And these 38 blessings, is important that we all need to practice and need to understand truly and apply it into our life. And and so, as we are going to end this program, I would like to have both of you. How would you inspire? Or how would you? What would be your message to the people to learn about these 38 blessings of the Buddha? And so I would like to let Mr. Nyamchuni first, that in order to have a real blessings, uh, why why do you think people need to learn these 38 blessings in the Mangala Suttas? Thank you.
Thank you once again, Venerable Sophia. I think this is really important. Like Master Sophia was saying in the intro, people are fighting for, people are looking for what is the highest blessing, not just human who live on this planet, but even they, the deity, the devata, angel, also searching those to live an inspired life, to live a good and happy life, to consider as the highest blessing as well. So I think it's important that everyone on this planet, every one of us should seek more, explore more. What is the highest blessing within our life? We probably live with our culture, a part of it, but also it's important to truly understand what is the main factor to help support us to live wisely, to live, I would say, to live happily, wisely, and with deep understanding of life philosophy. So my encourage for the people to search more, because there's a way Buddha say, um, what we think, what you think, you become. So this is a part of life where the Buddha encouraged us to consider more on how we act, on how we think, on how we talk as well. Are those words, are those acts um, causes trouble, causes problem? So when we have that kind of reflection, then we come to a way that we start to understand more about life. We start to understand more about living as community, living as a harmony society as well. So I would say for Cambodian people who live in Cambodia or around the world, or whoever seeking to explore more, to live a happy life, to live a life with highest blessing, find your time, give yourself a space to join this program, the Buddhasasana program, to understand more about what 38 highest blessing within Buddhism, because that the Buddha explained verse by verse, and also there will be a lot of different speakers to share this opinion, to share this kind of way of life living a happiness or consider as a highest blessing. So I think it's important that give yourself time, give yourself space to join this kind of program, because you guys can search more, learn more, the factor, the way to live a better and happy life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So yes, Venerable CPF. So what would be your message to the people? People are tend to seek for blessings, and the most important blessing in Buddha's teaching is as the first one is associated with the vice. At the is one of the highest blessings. So how would you encourage people to learn the real blessings in Buddha's teaching? So please share with us your perspective and your encouragement to the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Gujani, for sharing. So there's a progressive path to gain the highest blessing. The very first one, like Venerable Supi already mentioned, is associating with good friends who can bring you about the teaching or doing things much better than before, and showing the path to do some other much better performance in terms of your job, your professional, or mental development. So I think to gain the blessing, it's important to study what is the blessing first, and then what are the ways to gain that blessing. And we just talk about the 38 highest blessing, from not associate with not associating with the fool, associate with the wise, having good friends, and worship or respect to our parents and all those people who help us before. Pay gratitude to those people, and do the more thing, building a good foundation for ourselves, cultivating good words, good deeds, and good thought, and all those are the foundation of building a blissful life. So yes, of course, the blessing depend very much on ourselves, and also the people around us, and also your own inner reflection, your effort in the teaching, in learning the teaching of the Buddha. Those combine to bring about the pure words, the pure action, and the pure thought. That is the very end of the Mangala Sutta, is to eradicate all the defilement, the greed, the hatred, the delusion inside our mind, our heart, and then we gain the highest blessing. So it's a progressive steps toward the end, and that is the realistic approach. Is not the blessing not come from the deva in heaven. So you cultivate it within you, but somehow you still get influence from others. Something like seeing the monk, one of the blessing in Mangala Sutta, seeing the monks is also a sign of blessing. Why just seeing a monk is a sign of blessing? Because when you see monks, you see the serenity, you see peace, you see harmony, you see virtue. So you feel peace at the very first sight when you see the monk or the Buddha or the temple or the stupa. So the happy feeling, the good emotion is a sign of a blessing. It's a seed of happiness, and that's why seeing good person make you feel good. Seeing the Buddha you make you feel like, oh, I'm so excited to see him and pay respect. That is the seed of happiness, the seed of blessing is inside, is irradiated from inside, and you smiling, you can smile, you can speak good words because of that inner quality. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So for those who wish to learn more on this Mahamangala Sutta, which is the discourse of the highest blessings in Buddha's teaching, please follow us, catch up with us on the following week, and we are going to explore a broader view on on step by step, stanza by stanza, verse by verses of the teachings of the Buddha. So we will invite different speakers, different scholars to share with us what they have learned, what the Buddha has taught. So it is important for all of us to understand the true meaning of blessings in life, and so people can apply and can live happily. So this is the series of teachings of the Buddha, and we hope you will all join us again, and also hope both of you will join us on some we will discuss that in on details about it and on certain stanzas verses of the these 38 blessings. So which one you would like to join with us, and then we will talk again behind the scene. So once again, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you all have a blessing day and stay healthy and be mindful with your life. And then thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.